Hello and welcome back to the channel once again. Something a bit different this time, because after weeks of saying that I'm not going to do anything for myself, I've been inspired. And I've been looking at lots of YouTube videos, different things, and looking for something a bit different. And I came across a video, I think it's JP Wargaming, but I'll put the link in the description. Great channel, well worth. And the guy works in 1/72 scale plastic figures, produces huge armies from them that look absolutely brilliant. So I decided that I'd have a look at a few of his videos. I saw his Spanish one, his British Peninsula video, and then I saw his Austrian 1809 army. Excuse me, and I just thought they looked fantastic. And I thought, do you know what, I hadn't painted Austrians in those wonderful white grey uniforms, the caterpillar helmets, caterpillar comb helmets, I suppose they are, on a caterpillar plume, I don't know what you describe them as. And I really like the look of the bases, and anyway, I've decided to take the plunge. It's inexpensive, these figures are very reasonably priced. You get loads of figures in a box. So I ordered 2 boxes, as you can see here. Well, more than 2 actually. I think I started with 2. I've now ordered 4 because the HaT figures are so good. I'm just going to pan around and show you what I've been up to here. I started off with the action box and the command box, and I ordered, there was some lots of off the sprue figures, I think Italeri, and what's the other, IMAX. But it became clear to me that the HaT figures are the, in my opinion, others made it the best. Anyway, so I thought to myself, well, I could do that for DBN Wargaming. I'm sure most are familiar with DBN now. It's a very popular game. If not, again, I'll drop a link to their channel in the description. It's Alex Testo who wrote the rules, and they give a really great little game. And as I've always said, I'm not really into the big scale, big tables now. DBN plays in 15mm on a 2-foot square table and gives some fantastic, he's got some great battle reports up on there. Anyway, I thought, look, I'm going to do DBN using plastic 1/72 figures. I've gone high tech now. I'm actually on a selfie stick, so I'll try to get a bit less wobble on it, but I'm still getting a bit of wobble. So DBN uses 40mm frontage figures, 8 figures to a base, represents a formation of troops. Doesn't necessarily represent a regiment or a battalion. It represents a formation of troops occupying that area. Obviously, I'm not going to get 8 of these on a 40x30 base. So I thought, what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep the minimum frontage I can, but just increase the depth. I've actually gone, in the end, after a lot of planning and thinking, for 60mm deep by 50 wide. I can get 9 figures on there. I had them standing up a minute ago, but I seem to knock them all over. But I'll just go in a bit. 9 figures on that base. And I decided to go with, as you can see from my little illustration, those very natty, wavy-edged bases from war bases. They seem to be very popular these days, don't they? Rather than the straight, square, flat-edged bases. So I've ordered some of those from war bases. I've ordered 24 of them. DBN uses arms of 12 elements per side. So 24 should do me an Austrian army and a French army. It's a summer plan. They kind of fit nicely on there. 9 figures, 3 in a row, in a kind of a column. The depth is less important in DBN, but I think maybe when you're forced to retreat, you retreat in base depths. But that doesn't matter as long as they're all the same. So 50mm frontage, 60mm depth, 9 figures. And I found from a box of 48 action pose figures, I can get 4 units. 4 units of 9, 4 bases of 9 anyway. if you look at JP Wargames channel, you'll see that his figures are based up in regiments, and each base is only 6 figures, but they're kind of staggered, but they're sort of 3 deep. Really like the basing style that he uses. I'm going to try and emulate that. Anyway, I also have, that's obviously the contents, most of the contents of the Napoleonic Austrian Infantry Action Post box, which is that one there. Very nice too. The contents of the command sprue, they just turned up this morning actually. You've got here, let me just see if I can get this better for you. There we are. 3 sprues of this, each have got command. I think I might replace the plastic. I'll get a bit more light on that for you. Just to show the quality of these figures. They really are nice figures. They're 1/72nd, but they're probably almost 25mm in height. They're wearing quite tall helmets, aren't they? But very nice figures, these. So you can see you've got the command sprues here. Also have mounted officers, heads, different bits, drummers. So yeah, you get 3 of those, 4 of those sprues actually in the box, which enables you to make. So I'm thinking whether I should have 9 figures here, which include an officer and a standard bearer in the centre. But I don't know yet. I'm going to paint some up and just see how, when the bases arrive, see how those things look. But each base represents a formation of troops in DBN. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I just really thought it's inexpensive. I think I spent about 30 quid. I've got another box coming of HaT, Austrian Infantry in Sheko. So, you know, Hungarian troops. Germans, plenty of command figures with optional heads. In here I have, I think these may be, what are they? I think they're Italeri, and there's some HaT figures there, slightly slimmer but very nice. But I'm going to go with the HaT figures to start with. They do everything. They do cavalry, artillery. I'll just pull back a bit and see what I'm up to. There's my table, covered in plastic troops. Well, I say that, I'm also doing some Wars of the Roses for Noel and some more, what are they, Jacobite Rebellion government infantry for Marcus. So I'm still doing the commission work first anyway. But I'm going to prep up a base of these. And I've got some ideas how I'm going to approach painting the white. I had looked at contrast paints, but I'm going to stick by my old method, which is let's get a focus on here. Which is going to be black base coat, black prime. I'm going to use a grey dry brush, probably London grey, Vallejo London grey dry brush, and then I'll dry brush them again with a lighter grey or off white. And then just pick out with a brush, you know, the belts and the bits of highlights, etc., facings, and so I've got a pretty clear idea in my head at how I'm going to approach these white uniforms. But I want to get some shadow around the edges of the belts, and I want a bit of contrast between the off-white grey uniforms and the white straps, etc. I think they're going to come up quite nice, and then we'll see how they look. I'm going to base them up. Again, if you have a look at JP Wargaming, the video below, you'll see his basing style is very, very nice. It's very light coloured, using flock rather than static grass, which I like to do now. So I'll probably copy that style. But we're going to do DBN Wargaming, 12 elements, Austrian army. Probably be about 8 infantry, 2 cavalry, and maybe 3 cavalry and an artillery base to begin with. Then we'll do a French army, and we'll see where we go from there, really. But this is a new thing for me. I'll just pick up one of these HaT boxes and turn them. I love them. It's almost like going back to Airfix days. You can see I think you can see the quality of the illustrations there. You see, you got alternative heads, hats, mounted commanders, so I can make a nice command base with a couple of different heads. And yeah, the only thing is the flagstaff is very flimsy, so I should probably cut that away and replace that with wire. But yeah, I'm quite excited about it. And the main thing is, for me, it hasn't cost me a lot of money. You can see Italeri artwork there. Hasn't cost me a fortune. If I get fed up with it, as I sometimes tend to do, if I get fed up with it, that's it. It doesn't matter really. I feel kind of nostalgic about it. I think it's also because of like many of my generation, I started with Airfix, and I've painted a lot of plastic 1/72 for old John over the years, and they do turn out a treat. I've actually got a video somewhere, if you have a look for it, of plastic stuff I've done for old John, and they just come up a treat. They really do. So I'm looking forward to seeing what I can do with these, and probably, hopefully, in the next video I'll have a couple of bases done. War bases are very good service. They usually arrive within a couple of days. It's only a small order. It's 3 packs of wavy edged bases, which again is a new departure for me. I just think I just like the way they kind of blend into the terrain. But we'll see how it all looks when it arrives. So I won't rub it on too long. Can't think anything else I was going to say. There probably was. But yeah, I hope you'll follow me along and see how this project goes. Because I've got some, I've got some plans and some ideas for it. As always, it's on a budget. It's on a budget because over my years I've spent a small fortune on figures, every scale. When I was in Spain, I had a collection of 40mm figures. It started off with a purchase from Andy Copestake of Old Glory UK. His Sash and Sabre collection, his Napoleonics. And I found myself in a house with a large underbuild that's perfect for a wargame room. So I spent a small fortune. I wouldn't like to say how much I spent on 40mm Napoleonics. When I came back to UK after a couple of years in Spain, basically it was just we missed family, and we the Brexit thing had started up, and the property prices were, there were no UK buyers. Our property value plummeted. So we thought, right, we're going to get out now while we can, but we've still got something left. But anyway, that came back. We all came back to England. I think it's about 2018 now. And I had a collection of 700 40mm Napoleonics. Came back in a boot of the car. We drove back. That's an experience. Drove back with a dog and the cat in the car as well. But yeah, so when I got back, and we ended up in a small place again, didn't have the room for 40mm figures. So I sold them on to my friend I'd known for a while, Graham Cummings at Crantara Miniatures, and yeah, sold them on to Graham, and sadly Graham passed away a couple of years later, which was it was only my own age then. But anyway, they've ended up in Nashville now, united with the collection of Italeri and Smith, another great 40mm collector. So they're all together in Nashville, but I did lose a lot of money on those. I didn't mind because they went to Graham, and Graham loved them. So that was probably the last big project I ever did. I've done other stuff in smaller scales, but there we go. I'm sorry I wrapped it away a bit. I'm probably feeling a bit nostalgic with all these lovely plastic figures around me. Anyway, we'll see how this goes. I won't go on. It's 14 minutes long. And thanks for sticking with me if you have this long. And next time I'll have some painted up Austrian figures on the wavy bases. and I hope they're going to look quite nice. I'm quite excited about the idea of a new project. So there we go. Then I'm up to 15 minutes long now, and I'm sorry if I've rambled, but sometimes sometimes you just need to do it, don't you? Anyway, thanks very much for anybody who follows me here, anyone subscribers. I really, really appreciate it. Cheers then. Bye.